Shall we begin?
Why would a good God allow suffering to exist? Does God really exist?
Let's begin now.
Why did God command the deaths of so many people in the Bible? Why does God remain so hidden?
Let's begin now.
Welcome to the Third Degree. My name is Dr. Tony Costa, and I'm here with my friend, Pastor Sule, and we have a special guest with us today, Sandra Solomon. Welcome to the Third Degree, Sandra.
Thank you. It's an honor for me to be here.
Sandra, you are an apostate from Islam. Can you tell us a little bit about what the consequences are for apostasy in Islam and how Sharia regulates those types of laws?
First of all, in the Sharia law, to question Islam, to start to rebel against Muhammad teaching and the Quran, a blasphemy law. And then if you actually openly as well, like start to act like infidel or say it openly, that you left Islam, you're no longer submitting to this, you consider apostates, and then a penalty should be executed. Should be either killed or crucified or expelled from the land.
So that's
or
your
cut
faith.
the hands and the feet from the opposite sides.
Wow.
This is coming from the Quran, and also there is the three Canadian Imams, and also the teaching of Muhammad when he changed his religion. Kill him. That Muhammad said this. There's a three Canadian Imam. Their name is Shahriyar al-Sheikh and Saeed Rajah and Ahmad Abdul Qadir Kandil. These are the three Canadian Imam on the Canadian soil stated that openly whoever leave Islam should be executed. So according to Sharia law, I can be killed any minute. And any Muslim kill me, under Sharia law, they should not be punished. They don't go to jail. They call it honor killing. They should be let free. That's what's going on in majority Muslim countries. If the brother or the husband or the father or anyone, any Muslim, kill anybody, they let them go. They don't go to jail. So that's what it is. That's what they teach here.
And in the terms of the treatment of women, can you say something about spousal abuse within the Sharia? Are women allowed to be beaten?
Yes. First, I'm going to read the verse from the Quran about the execution. It's in the chapter 5.
And where did you get this Quran?
It's from Toronto, the Islamic Information. They give it here in Toronto.
Okay.
And Dundas, it's 25351 Dundas Street West.
Okay, so here in Toronto.
It's here in Toronto.
Okay.
That's the Quran they give away to people. And it's here, it says, indeed the penalty for those who wage war against Allah and His Messenger and strive upon earth to cause corruption is none but that they be killed or crucified, or that their hands and feet be cut off from opposite sides. And the verse continue. So that's the penalty if anyone, considering like now I'm exposing Islam for what it is, and I'm saying for the true face of Islam. I am the one who doing a corruption, not like it's the opposite, right? So, and in terms of the wife and the woman rights in Islam, women have no rights in Islam. They're nothing but sex objects.
So this Independent Women's Day,
Yes.
you're saying that this would not apply to a Muslim woman.
Yes.
And is there any verses in the Quran that shows this?
It shows many verses in the Quran and the teaching of Muhammad that women are like second-class citizen. The man above the women. Allah prefer men, not women. Man can have more than one wife. Man can have child bride. You call it marriage, but we call it rape. The pedophilia, it's promoted in Quran and Hadith as well, to follow their role model Muhammad. When he consummated the marriage with Aisha, he married her when she was 6 years old and he was 53, and consummated the marriage when she was 9 years old. And from 6 to 9 he was doing thighing, all the sexual pleasure with the baby Aisha. So in terms of the Canadian Imams, what they teach here on the Canadian soil, for example, Dr. Iqbal al-Nadvi, he is the chairperson of Canadian Council of Imams. He is the Canada top Imam. Like, he is the top scholar in the Quran and the Hadith as well. He said, the Quran and the Hadith says, you can beat your wife. And says, wife beating in Islam, it's type of education. This is, I'm quoting from, this is ICNA Canada, Dr. Iqbal al-Nadvi. And there is another Imam, his name is Umar Sabdir. He said, Allah has permitted the husband to discipline his wife by striking her. And the Sheikh Muslih Khan, he said he is the Toronto police chaplain.
Okay.
What he said, he says, marrying 9-year-old girls is permissible in Islam.
Wow.
That's the Toronto chaplain, and no one, like many Muslim community to begin with, why they are silent about this, and the government silent about this, and the most important one, the true feminists, the true women,
Yes.
why they are silent about this. We need to call on the true suffragettes.
Why are the
true women
feminists
to
not
stand.
fighting this?
Why are they so quiet?
This
about
doesn't
it?
make
Exactly,
sense.
because they've been corrupted, they've been deceived by the taqiyya, and they don't search, they don't look at these information for themselves. They've been deceived under the taqiyya and the Islamophobia, and they cast, because it's in Islam, the God of Islam, they teach his followers that I will cast a terror in the heart of unbelievers. So people are afraid to criticize. They're casting fear in people's hearts. If you criticize Islam, we're gonna do this and that to you. So people kinda scared of. So that's my
Can you
encouragement.
say something, Sandra, about female genital mutilation in Islam? Because this is an area where a lot of feminists are very quiet about female circumcision in Islam. Can you say something about that?
Yes, the female, the FGM, it's a very known like a practice in major Muslim countries.
Wow.
It's a result of the teaching that women are just a sex object in Islam. They cover them up with hijab since they are like 6 years old babies, and because I would say like that part of the woman, to them it's the honor. It's a big thing. So they fear for the girls to go out and commit adultery, because according Sharia law, they should be killed or stoned or flogged. It depends. So there is that's the hudud, and so they do this out of they don't want the girls to grow and to feel like the sexual attraction and to commit adultery outside marriage. To them, it's a big shameful thing. So that's why they do it to the girls. It's a result of the teaching about women in Islam.
Now, Sandra, I hear what you're saying as a former Muslim, but you're going to have somebody else who's a Muslim that says this is not Islam. What you're saying is wrong. It's your own interpretation. How would you answer that?
First of all, who can speak for all Muslims? Who's the true Muslim? You know? And as I grow up as a Sunni, we grow up that the Shia are infidel, we should kill them.
Wow.
And when you ask the Shia, who's the Muslim? They're going to be like, oh, the Sunni, they're not Muslim. They should be killed. And that's exactly what's going on now in Syria and Iraq. Sunni and the Shia killing each other. Since the time of the grandson of Muhammad, Muslims are killing each other.
Wow.
And then the Ahmadiyya, the Baha'i, they all consider not Muslims, according to the teaching of the Quran and the Hadith. So people can look up all these information. They are free to search, and they can go in ICNA Canada and search the top Imam, Dr. Iqbal al-Nadvi, what he's saying. if my information is wrong, so what about the information that I read? I always read from Imams, the top scholars in Islam, what they say. Does these Imams represent Islam? That's the question they have to answer, not me.
And just to follow up to what Pastor Sule said, we usually hear Muslims saying, well, the Sharia law in Saudi Arabia, that's not the real Sharia law.
Yeah.
Or the Sharia law in Pakistan, that's not the real Sharia law.
Yeah.
And so we keep hearing this. It's almost like the old, the communists saying, well, that wasn't real communism in Russia. That wasn't real communism in China.
Yeah.
The real communism is still to come. We keep hearing this. What would your response be to those who say, well, Saudi Arabia really isn't practicing Sharia. They're just, that's not the real Sharia.
Yeah. Well, is this taqiyya or this is true? That's the question. This is another way of saying taqiyya. They are buying time. Muslims, majority of Muslims, or especially the one who understand Islam, Muhammad was buying time for 13 years until he got himself connected with the thugs and the bandits, al-Sa'alik, until he strengthened himself with the number, and then when he went to Medina and built the army. It was just a matter of time. And all these claims that, oh, Saudi doesn't represent Islam, Iran doesn't represent Islam, all these terrorists doesn't represent Islam, the Sunni doesn't represent Islam, the Shia doesn't represent, the Ahmad, the list, who represents Islam? If you find this person, I'm willing to talk.
Right.
Like no one knows who really represents Islam, right? At the end of the day. We follow what the Quran say, what Muhammad, the hadith, the authentic hadith. And this is the one and only interpretation, right interpretation about the Quran. And Saudi Arabia, as they teach us when we were young, Islam is our religion, Quran is our constitution. If you want to know the true face of Islam, open the Quran and read it. Very simple. And my encouragement to people, to Christian especially, to stand up. Jesus said, we are the light of the world, we are the salt of the earth. I want to call upon all the Christian to stand up for your faith, not to be afraid. The spirit of fear, it's not from the Lord. We need to help Muslims as well. Many Muslims are coming to the Lord. I'm one of them. It's not impossible. By the grace of the Lord, it is possible. Because that's what the Bible teaches us. I can do everything in Jesus' name, right? Who strengthened me.
Sandra?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
And thank you for watching the Third Degree. Please hit subscribe.